The Social Enterprise Exchange brings together businesses and policymakers from across the UK. Small and medium enterprises of all kinds gathered at the SECC in Glasgow to network, learn and do business. The importance of this sector was reflected in the opening speech given by John Swinney MP.
The government attaches the highest importance to making sure that the social enterprise sector in Scotland develops, that it thrives, that it provides and occupies a much more significant part and role in Scottish society than it has done in the past.
For anyone doubting the size of the social enterprise sector in Scotland, some figures. There are 509 social enterprises with a turnover of £744 million and combined assets of £2.2 billion. All the businesses present here are proof of a burgeoning sector with plenty of opportunity to grow successful businesses whilst making a real difference to people's lives. So what made Mark Keelman launch a social enterprise?
Well, the social enterprise model has been really good because it's really about involvement and community empowerment. So if one person starts to promote cycling on their own, they can only achieve so much. But when you engage with other members of the community, local mums and dads, their sons and daughters get involved, then they build a network, and it's that network that gets more and more people interested. The more people that are interested, the more people ride their bikes. The more people that ride their bikes, the more people that then the cycle continues.
Also speaking at the opening session, Peter Holbrook encouraged government to use its buying power wisely.
They can get all of their suppliers and providers to help tackle youth unemployment, to drive down inequality in a society, to give unemployed people a break, to help create community cohesion. They need to use their power to build the sort of society that they say they want to build.
As part of the exhibition, leaders debated many of the hot topics.
We obviously have all of the big facilities, we have the event itself, and that will reach and engage a certain proportion of the population. But there's what happens when the party leaves town, and that's really where social enterprises have a lot to offer sport in Scotland, based in communities, often driven and grown out of those communities, and with a real mission and passion to serve those communities. So it offers a great deal for sport in Scotland.
It's demonstrating that with the same amount of money, the contracts from the NHS and from the public sector are delivering extra value. That value is being maintained in the community, that value is being maintained in service and staff, not disappearing down the road, not paying some shareholder in some other country a big wedge out of what is required, which is that the money remains local, that the money remains within the community.
I've come here today because it's a great opportunity to network. I already run a social enterprise and I want to set up a new social enterprise. So this is the best place to come to actually network, meet people and tell them what I want to do, and also meet old friends and make new contacts.
It's a really inspiring event to see so many people here with the same enthusiasm and the same goals and the same want to improve their communities through social enterprise. So I'm very much enjoying myself.
We are coming across lots of good ideas, lots of interesting people, lots of support we hope as well that we'll be tapping into the future, and as well as selling yourself to the whole concept.
One of the themes that came through from the questions from the floor was around funding relationships and how these are built and how they're generated. And it was about relationships and partnerships, so moving away from the old CSR sponsorship type transactions to having long-term engagements, in particular with business, recognising that government has a role in many countries, but in some areas government aren't particularly engaged, so that this is a role for social enterprise to have mature and modern relationships with the business community.
I think everyone understands why we want to get involved in renewables and the benefits that flow from that. But the fundamental hurdle is how do you pump capital in there in a fairly toxic environment in terms of banks and other sources. There are support mechanisms from the Scottish Government and other bodies, but it's still a battle pulling everything together because it tends to be very bitty and take some time.
And it's not just the adults having all the fun.
Our pupils are involved in social enterprise because we think there's massive benefits to it for them and obviously for the people that they support, in this case in India. They support something called the Karma Project, which is based in Bodh Gaya in India, and essentially they import jewellery and products, they sell it here, and all the profits go back into funding a local school.
The robust networks being built reach the four corners of the UK.
We have built up excellent relationships with various organisations over here, CIS, Jerry Higgins and with Scott over the last number of years, and what we're trying to do is share information, experience, knowledge, and we've learned a lot from our colleagues over here, and what we're trying to do is instill some of that learning and knowledge back into Northern Ireland.
Exhibitors at the show reported having achieved all their goals for the day.
We've launched a social entrepreneurs club in Scotland and we've got 13 members so far, so we're very keen to sort of build new relationships with social enterprises and expand our own network, so we were very keen to do that today.
We have a fairly wide network of contacts in England and in Wales, and we felt that we had a model that would hopefully benefit Scotland in terms of the employment of disabled people. We came really yesterday with no contacts at all. We go away this evening with lots of contacts and an awful lot of encouragement of people that would be very happy to try to work with us.
I think it's a great event. It's a really nice way for everyone to network and meet people that you wouldn't normally meet in your normal surroundings and your normal circle of influence.
Whether influencing, networking, learning or debating was your aim, it all happened at the Social Enterprise Exchange. Mark Heathcote, the SECC, Glasgow.